On this edition of Cranky Gun Reviews, we're going to talk more about whatever I feel like talking about.
Let's get down to the business of sucking every loose penny out of Mr. and Mrs. Average Knucklehead. Upgrades, people, upgrades!
That's right, we're talking about some more upgrades. So you guys probably remember this from a couple years ago. This is my Palmetto State Armory lower, Bear Creek Arsenal upper budget build AR-15. Has a 16-inch or a 16.5-inch barrel with a slim hand grip and an A2 style stock. And I really built this one because I like the fixed stock. I like the way that it feels. I like you have storage in the stock, and I'm not really supposed to have collapsible stocks in my state anyway, so if I get an adjustable one, I have to pin it. So again, yes, this was a very budget build. I think all in I had right around $500 in this gun when I put it together originally. But I decided I wanted to make some changes to this one and also build another one that was more in tune with my original intent with this rifle. That's right. Kind of in keeping with my theme for 2023, doing upgrades on existing firearms that I have, as opposed to buying so many new firearms that I did in the past couple years, which, again, I still do want to add a few more to my collection. In this particular case, this is my kind of A2 clone rifle, and it's not really a true A2 clone. This kind of has like the A2 style fixed stock on it with the carry handle sight, but it only has a 16.5-inch barrel with the flash hider, muzzle brake, whatever you want to call it on it, and the front sight post like a standard one would have. The only things I've really done to this is put a more round style, the slimmer handguard on it with a little short piece of rail. And the reason I do that, I like the slimmer handguard and it just feels better in my hand. That one still does have the heat shield in it, and I wanted the short piece of rail because sometimes I do use this with a bipod. But what I've been wanting to do with this gun is get a 20-inch upper with a carry handle sight on it to make it more like an A2 clone. And in doing that, basically then I would have this extra upper to use for something else. So this upper is more like an M4 carbine upper. It's a 16 or a 16.5-inch barrel, has the small handguard on it, has the carry handle sight, and this other sight post like the standard military sight post would have on it. So if I'm going to be buying a 20-inch upper for this, what will I do with this 16-inch upper? What indeed? So what I decided to do was not only upgrade my A2 style upper, but complete a build for an M4 style complete gun lower and upper. So this is a Anderson Manufacturing lower. Why did I buy Anderson? Because they're cheap, plain and simple. And insert the Jimothy J. Reevington jokes about the poors not having good AR-15s here.
Mr. Jimothy J. Reevington.
If it were up to me, I'd just buy the best rifle money could buy, still get maybe good iron sights or a good optic and a decent sling. So do as I say, not as I do.
Like, really? Not that bad for a $400 AR-15.
Wait a minute. Did I hear that right? James Reeves said a $400 AR-15 is not that bad? But realistically, I wanted a budget-built lower. Again, just about everything I do when it comes to these type of firearms is kind of a budget build. So standard M4 style lower, just a standard plastic pistol grip, your standard mil-spec lower buttstock, and this has a mil-spec trigger group and everything in it. I did buy an Aero Precision lower build kit, so the grip, the firing control group, the buffer tube, the buffer spring, and the buffer, all of those parts, the whole lower build kit actually is Aero Precision. And I stuck a sticker inside the grip to remind me that it's an Aero Precision parts kit. So what I'm going to do is take that 16-inch upper, put it on this Anderson Manufacturing lower so I can have an M4 clone, and then I need to order a 20-inch upper for this lower so that I'll have a more error-correct A2 style clone and an M4 style clone. So by the magic of editing, let me go ahead and do some magic here and show you what it's going to look like. And there you have it, a very quick swap over between the uppers and the lowers here.
Looks good to me.
Now I have my M4 clone AR-15 and my A2 style lower. So eventually I'm going to get that 20-inch barrel upper for this thing. I've been watching Bear Creek Arsenal. They actually had a really good sale on them about 2 weeks ago, and I missed out on buying one by a day. There are other brands that make the A2 style upper with the mil-spec barrel and things like that that I can buy. But again, I'm trying to do this on a budget as best I can. My theory is that if you buy decent parts, then spending $2,000 or $3,000 on a rifle, you can get more rifles. So kind of a quantity over super high quality thing. But again, I mean, I have had some issues with my Bear Creek stuff, but nothing that has turned me off from that company. They're still made in the USA. They have great customer service. So I still am going to buy parts from them as long as I feel like it. So if I can find a 20-inch upper for this A2, I mean, from Bear Creek, if I can find a 20-inch upper, I will buy it from them. If not, I'll end up ordering an Aero Precision or some other brand upper, maybe even a better one. This is a Palmetto State Armory lower with their enhanced trigger group and everything in it that's polished. So this actually has, it's a mil-spec trigger, but it's polished. It actually feels really good. This one is a mil-spec setup, and it feels really good too. I'm just not really that picky when it comes to triggers on AR-15s. I think 6.5, 7 pounds to me feels perfectly fine. I like having a single stage trigger rather than a dual stage trigger. I just can't get used to a 2-stage trigger. So for me, the mil-spec stuff is fine. So yeah, there's my one upgrade for 2023. This was a pretty inexpensive proposition. So anyway, I want to thank you once again for watching this edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I hope you weren't too bored when you were watching it. I try to keep these as succinct as possible while still talking about what I want to talk about and getting my point across, trying to make them a little bit more fun. Again, hopefully you appreciate all the little blurbs I've been putting in here. So again, thanks for watching this edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. God bless America. Make sure you get out there and shoot. Support your 2A rights. It's more important now than ever. And you remember, if someone asks you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, remind them that freedom is the greater good. Again, I said it before. I borrowed that phrase from Buffalo's Outdoors, and I'm going to keep using it. Have a great day.